What's up, all you motorcycle enthusiasts, and welcome to the V-Twin Life here on YouTube. We talk motorcycles powered by those V-Twins, what fuels their passion, why you enjoy it so much. V-Twin Life is brought to you by these two great companies, Crash Inc. Clothing and Wild Ass Seats. Hey, you want to add some comfort to your ass when you're out riding, whether you're a 400-mile guy, or maybe a guy that's pushing 1,000 plus, or female rider for that matter? Hey, check out wild-ass.com and add some comfort to your ass. Can't forget Crashing Clothing, that Northwest brand out of the Pacific Northwest. Hey, these guys got a lot of great stuff, from t-shirts to hats, raincoats, you name it. Hey, they can get you covered. Check out crashingclothing.com. Now, let's dive into another Milepost of the V-Twin Life. What is up, everybody? Welcome to Milepost 69. Got a couple guys from Fire and Iron. Got Mikey, got Wes. You know, these guys do a lot of cool shit, do a lot of riding, put on some rides up north, North Washington. And figured, me and Mike have been trying to get this going for a while. So we figured we want to do this in person instead of, like most of them where we're over the phone or over the internet. So a little more personal when you're face to face with the guys. So welcome to Milepost 69, guys.
Thank you. Thanks for letting us come out.
Hell yeah. So let's dive into it. When'd you get into the bikes? Where did it start?
Well, I think my dad ridden since he was 10, and I got my first bike when I was 5. I've been riding my entire life just about. So back before you weren't allowed, if you couldn't reach the pegs, you couldn't ride. Well, that was before all those rules. So I used to ride on the gas tank. My dad would drive. My mom would be on the back of the bike. So
I remember my stepdad started riding. It's like, if you can start it, you can ride it.
Yeah.
And that was the biggest thing. All right, cool. I can remember being, I think, 10 years old and riding the XR600. I'll start that bastard. No way I can touch the ground, but roll it up next to a big rock, start it, and push it and jump on and go for a ride.
Yep. I used to have the round 5-gallon buckets, the metal gas cans, and I used to put one on each side of the bike, and I'd stand on it, kickstart it, and then I'd take off. And then I'd ride the yard, and I'd come back, and I would have to stop in between the cans and put my feet down on them. So I could be tall enough for my little Suzuki 60, little RM60.
The old RM60s. I had the first one was the Yamaha MX80. The old one there, white and black. It's like a late 70s model.
Hell yeah.
But it was fun. When did you get into it, Wes?
I started riding dirt bikes and four-wheelers when I was younger. And then one of my uncles passed, and he passed on a 74 Shovelhead. And I rode that for a little bit. And then got into street bikes, crotch rockets after that. And, I mean, those are fun, but they're not comfortable. So
I think a lot of people, I did the sport bike thing for a short time, and you realize that, it's not comfortable, and then it's like not exactly what I wanted to bike because, like now, we're all riding, we all got baggers. Mm-hmm. And for me, I enjoy traveling on a bike. And you get on a sport bike, some of these crotch rocks, it's like, nah, that just isn't going to work. No. You want the comfort, and set it up how you want it, and just be able to take off and enjoy the open road.
Yeah, sport bikes are fun if you want to go fast. I mean, I'm into racing, so going fast every once in a while is fun, but I like to just kick back and cruise.
Yeah.
I just figured, my sister had a Ninja, a little 600, and I've had other buddies that had Ninjas, and I'm like, I can't ride these. I'm going to be in jail. Mm-hmm. I can't keep them. I can't keep them off of 100 to 120 miles an hour. I'm
178. That's as fast as I can get mine to go.
Yeah, I'm like I'm going to continue to push the envelope until I choose to pull over after being chased. So I'm like, I don't need to end up in jail. So I'm like, I'll just stick to cruisers, and I'll get my fix every once in a while when I borrow someone else's crotch rocket, and I'm done.
I remember I was down at Destination Harley in Silverdale looking at some bikes, and the dude goes by in a crotch rocket, doing a wheelie at about 80 or 90, like, on the highway, and we're standing back there. It's like, Jesus, the salesman comes out. You know what we call those? I'm like, no, what's that? He goes, organ donors.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Good point.
Donor cycle.
Yeah. Because bad things are bound to happen when you're doing crazy shit like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's one thing you want to go stunt in a closed area, but when you're doing it on a freeway, I don't know.
Yeah.
To each their own, but
lots of different things. I mean, if you don't push the envelope, you don't get better, right?
Yeah.
Like if you don't push past your skills, you never advance your skills. You have to push past them. But there's also a time to not do it when you've got a bunch of people out there that are, well, they're not ready for that. Like, you freak them out, and then they do dumb things, and then you end up being the result of being a road pancake. So,
yeah, a human scab.
A human scab. Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, but
So where'd you get into when it came to? I mean, you got on bikes younger, but when did you figure out that this is really it, and you enjoy riding and touring, and kind of went towards the setup where you got now when it came to doing a bagger?
Well, my first bike was an '81 CSR 650, so the cruiser bike. I had it right after I got my driver's license. I test rode it with my dad, and then he rode it home for me because I didn't have my license yet. I rode that through high school and college, and just always enjoyed it. And I rode in all the weather, didn't matter. And then I went to an '87 Suzuki Intruder 1400. I had the drag bars, I had straight pipes on it, forward controls, and I would just ride that thing until I stopped riding, and it could be hours or days. And so I would ride. I was living in San Antonio. I'd ride to my sister's house in Tulsa, just all stretched out for, 562 miles door to door. And by the time I'd get there, I'd be tired. So I was like, well, I got to upgrade this bike. I ride too much. I was riding 1,500 miles a month. And I got to upgrade. So I kept saving up, and I finally got I test rode the Street Glide, and I'm like, yeah, this is what I want. So I bought one. And then I rode it from the house in San Antonio to Tulsa. It was 562 miles, and I got there, and I was like, not tired at all. And I was like, well, that's it. I'm sold. Like, I'm ready to ride like anywhere in the United States. I'm ready to hit all the states. So I've got a lot of them now. So,
and it's an awesome, fun way to do shit. I mean, on motorcycles, I've always said, everybody, it's way more personal. The scent, the smells, I mean, everything you see, it's a whole different ball game on a bike than it is in a car.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, yeah. Especially when you pull that skid lid off and you got the wind blowing through your hair or your baseball cap, whatever. You can't beat that feeling. Even the small parts of hearing the car next to you. You hear the tires hitting the pavement. Like, you're just a part of it without actually having to touch it to be a part of it. So it's just you can't get away from the feeling, and
right.
it's a drug, and the more you do it, and the more you allow yourself to do it, the better it gets. And it goes along that. Like, we ride in all weather, we ride in the snow, we ride in the ice, we ride in the pouring down rain, whether it's coming from above or below. It doesn't matter. We ride, and it's just those nice days when you're not bundled up in 14 layers between being, in long underwear and maybe another layer of long underwear, and then your leathers, and then your rain gear on top of everything else, and you're like the little Stay Puft Man on a motorcycle. And you get these days like today where you're like in a t-shirt and you're cut, and it's every day you fall in love with it again.
Oh yeah.
So
especially come out, I mean, you hit, some of the roads we got up here in the Northwest. There's some great riding areas. I mean, you guys got some great stuff up where you. I mean, I'm a huge fan of the North Cascades. It's an awesome place, but you come down here like with the peninsula. I mean, you can head out west like you guys did today out towards Nia Bay. Mm-hmm. You got the Loop. There's a lot of little back roads up here a lot of people don't know about. You can, take some side detours, and it's an awesome place. It's a lot of fun, but it's like I said, up here for us guys in the Northwest, you do got to definitely dress in layers because it can be like today sunshiny and tomorrow it can be pouring goddamn rain.
Yeah, we're hoping not tomorrow.
Yeah.
we're going through the rainforest tomorrow. So I'm hoping it's not raining too much.
But yeah, like you guys are saying, the best part about being on two wheels is it's a freedom to go where you want. You can be on a path that you plotted out or planned out, and then be like, let's see what's up here, and you just go. And that's, I don't know, it's a freedom is basically what it is. It's a freedom. Yeah, sadly, like Mikey was saying, we have to wear the skid lids up here. But myself as well, I would much rather, it's way more comfortable, way more open air, way more free to just be able to peel that off and go. Yeah. It's a whole different experience. A lot of people don't really know it because they think it's unsafe or whatever, but I mean, you're free to make that choice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hell yeah. It's funny because you were talking about, just you have the free to, like, you have this planned route. We ended up in Yak, Montana. Mm-hmm. Just like, we're like, oh, what's this road? Oh, what's this road? Well, this is a really cool long road. This is kind of, I wonder where we're going to end up. And then we ended up at a bar in the middle of Yak, Montana, middle of nowhere. And I was like, and it's like one of our favorite bar stops we've ever done. And it was like, yeah, it's cool. So, you just never know where you're going to end up. You might end up at Denver's house.
Well, that's the cool thing. Sometimes you want to take a trip. So, you give yourself 5 days. It's like, okay, well, I want to be, say, Cody, Wyoming in 3 days. Okay, well, that's where I'm going to be. All right, cool. I got 3 days to figure out, just hit some roads, and you just go with kind of without a plan and just explore with the whole goal is, okay, 3 days, I'm going to be in this town. And which if you really push yourself, you could do that in 1 day. But you break it up, you go explore with no plan, you just ride, hit the road, and where you go, you go.
Hell yeah. Yeah. I like that. I like that. And that's the best part. Like, I mean, you can have plans, you can have set routes, you can have all this stuff, and you're just getting, the wind, and it just puts a smile on your face. And equally, you can have no plan and just end up wherever, eating a burger at some bar or some restaurant that you would have never have gotten to stop to unless you had just that no plan or that freedom or that opportunity just to go take that road, take this road. I've come across some bars or restaurants out in the middle of nowhere that I'm like, I've never even heard of this place. And you come back home and, hey, have you guys ever heard of this? Like, no, I've never heard of that. Where's that at? And you're like, oh, well, you go down this road to the windmill, and then you go down this road to the fourth big mailbox, and then you're over here, and where is it at? Well, I have no idea. I just told you how to get there.
And for us, like all the years of doing sports with the boys, my daughter did horse stuff. We found some amazing little tiny towns. Like, hey, we need to come back here. And there have been times we've, gone back to some of these small towns. For us, it's like, would have never found them if it wasn't for, the activities that all of our kids did. And we found some great little cool places. But it's the same thing with motorcycles. You can hit some of these back roads and, get in the middle of podunk nowhere and find the most awesome mom and pop restaurant and grab, a drink, some food. And it's like, hey, this place is kind of cool. And, stay there a night and figure out, hey, where am I going tomorrow?
Yeah. I mean, we were up in Alaska and we were just riding around, and we started in Anchorage and went down the Turnagain Arm, ended up in Hope, Alaska. And there was this little restaurant and it looked like a house. I'm like, oh, let's go try it out. So we just walked in there and we had, a sandwich or whatever, and, it was good. And then they're like, well, do you want dessert? I'm like, what do you got? Well, we have homemade pie. So we had homemade pie, and I will ride to Alaska for that pie now.
There's
like, yeah.
Another place, like everybody, I mean, you've ridden the canal a bunch of times. Mm-hmm. You're familiar with the Gooey Duck down in Brennan.
Yep.
Okay. Well, if you're heading, say, up the canal, you pass the Gooey Duck, then you'll go across a little bridge past, Dosey Wallop State Park, and it'll be on your right, you got the Brennan General Store. Well, if you go about another 2 blocks, there's a house on the left. Looks like a house. It's called the Halfway House. The most awesome mom and pop restaurant that has absolutely amazing breakfast. My dad found it one time. He's like, hey, let's go Friday Saturday. All right, what are we doing? We're going to go have breakfast. Cool, where are we going? The Halfway House. What the fuck's that? It's like down in Brennan. It's like, everybody, you think of that area, everybody thinks the Gooey Duck. But I tell you what, you want some breakfast sometime, you go down to the Halfway House. It's freaking awesome food. Great place. And you walk inside and like the walls are covered in newspaper clippings, sporting events from within the area, you're like being as they're close to coolest thing, about football team, and it's just the most cool environment inside that restaurant. And it's like, fuck, I would have never known it was there if it wasn't for my dad. Now it's like a drive by. Oh yeah, I need to go there one of these days.
Yeah, I remember that now. Halfway House in Brennan.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
So what got you wanting to get in kind of, the bagger scene, or when did you kind of decide that you really enjoyed the touring aspect of traveling on motorcycles?
honestly, the fast bikes, they're fun, but they're not comfortable. When I got my fast bike, my wife said she'd never ride on the back of it. And part of going out is being with people you love and care for, and that's your brothers, your family, whatever. Mm-hmm. And if she wasn't going to ride on the back of it, then I want something that I would enjoy riding as well as have her on the back of it. So I went and picked up my Street Glide, and she swore she'd never wear a helmet or go without a helmet. So I said, okay, well, the only way to get a helmet is to get on the back and ride to the store to get a helmet. So I threw her on the back and took her up to get a helmet, and she refuses to wear one to this day. So, yeah.
See, for me, I've ridden twice without one, and it feels very weird. Just because, live in Washington, you got to wear it. And, I've had a major fucking head trauma from motorcycle wreck, and it's just, it's like we said earlier, to each your own. You want to wear one, you don't want to wear it. That's personally your choice. But it's like for me, after what I've been through, I feel very, I think best way to say it's like naked without one. It's uncomfortable for me. It's like, that's why I got my real low profile skid lid. I'll wear sometimes, nice days. But I think when it's shitty out, having the, full face. Now actually I went to the modular, and I freaking love that thing. Especially, in the wintertime or when it's a little bit colder. It's amazing that extra face protection. You stay a lot fucking warmer.
Yeah.
Even with the insulation on my face,
Yeah. Yep. No, I haven't worn a full face helmet since 2007. Been half shell ever since, and I've worn my full face once. It was 16 degrees out, and I was like, I'm gonna wear my full face for this ride, But I just, like, that day, it was like, I appreciated being warm. It was 16 degrees. That was before the wind chill. So,
yeah.
And at 70 miles an hour for 55 miles, I was like, I missed being able to hear vehicles. I missed being able to just feel everything. And I was like, all right, well, I don't think I go back to a full face. So I throw my mask on if I'm riding down. That way, at least I don't get pelted by the rain, because that stings.
It stings a little bit, yeah.
Just a little bit.
Or hail.
Hail's not
hail
fun
and a
either.
half helmet. I remember one time riding down the highway like this, elbow up over my nose. It's just, the weatherman said it was going to be a beautiful day, no rain, and fucking got nailed with hail and rain and everything else like this. Bullshit.
Yep, it hurts, but yeah, you just, it's all about the gear, right? It's like, like I always say, people are like, oh, are you cold? I'm like, oh, no. Like, there's no such thing as bad weather. It's just bad gear. And there's days I don't ride because of snow. Why? Because I got bad gear.
I don't have studded tires on my bike.
I don't have studded tires, exactly. So, and we got brothers in Chicago, and I tell them that, and they're like, shut the hell up. Like, there's like 6 months out of the year we can't ride because there's too much snow here. And there's no way in hell I would be riding because it's too cold. So, I'm like, well.
Yeah, there's a cold, and then, snow and ice. Yeah, I'll leave the bike in the garage. Fuck that.
If it's sticking to the ground, I'm not going to leave. I won't leave my house. But if I need to get home and it's just starting to stick, then I'm getting home. Slowly. You can't be any type of record-breaking riding that day, but maybe record-breaking is taking as longest time you ever took to get home. Shortest route, longest time. But
Something. We're going A to B quickly as we can.
Yes, but I don't know. I just I personally don't want to leave my bike somewhere. I'm like, nope, this is mine. It's coming home with me.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be in my house, in my shop,
that's right,
my garage.
Yep,
wherever you keep your bike.
Yeah, and I don't want a trailer. Trailer is bad juju.
Yeah,
emergency use only. Oh, unless you're like going someplace to go ride somewhere else,
and moving.
Or you're moving, which I had to do from Texas back to here. I had to trailer my bike. But, when you're doing it by yourself, like, that's all you got.
That's what you got, yeah.
I tried to figure out how to tow my truck with the bike, but I couldn't figure that out.
Well, it's like I had a buddy, we're talking about wanting to go back to South Dakota next summer, but spend at least 5 days there. One of the guys over, he's like, hey, he goes, I just got to get something off my chest. I'm like, all right, Mike, what do you got? He's like, I know how you feel about trailering. He's like, but do you ever think, he goes, if you and the wife and your son come back over, you guys trailer the bikes. I'm like, where are you going with this? He's like, 3 drivers. Like, you could be here in one day. He goes, that's another day of riding. Did you think of that? So I've thought of it, but that's half the fun of getting there. So I'm not a fan of trailing. I mean, to each your own. Some guys say they want to, go travel far and ride an area and they'll trailer their bikes, but it's like, I just can't do it. It's just, I don't know. It screams bad juju to me.
Yeah, I try not to, but
There are those times
I definitely try not to trailer somewhere. I mean, unfortunately, if I have to go somewhere, I don't have time. It's fly somewhere, bring your gear with you, and rent a bike.
Yeah.
Or borrow another Club Brothers bike, because we get that benefit is I got a bike for you, just show up here. Okay, so
yeah.
So every once in a while I have to do that. Just you only get so much vacation time, so
yeah, that too. You got to maximize what you got.
maximize it. So fly somewhere, rent a bike. At least you're still riding.
Yeah.
And you're not trailering.
Right. So hey, dive into fire and iron.
Okay, sure.
When did you decide you want to get into that, or what made you become part of that?
So I was in Texas, and I was just riding so much down there, and always looking to ride with people. Some of the guys I worked with at the department was like, "Oh yeah, we want to we should all ride together and start this whole club and this and that." And I was like, "Oh, I really never thought about joining a club." I'm like, "Oh, that's kind of cool." So then I was like, started talking to one of the fire chiefs who rode with another club, and him and I started talking about more the MC world and stuff like that, and I was like, "Oh, I think we're really interested in this." He's all right, well, come meet me at this time at this place and I'll introduce you to some guys. So I'm like, okay. So I met him and he introduced me to Fire and Iron and started talking with the guys. I'm like, oh, they're all firefighters. Cool, and we ended up going riding. I ended up spending the entire day with these guys just learning about the club and about what the MC world was about and what it meant to them and this and that. And I was like, oh, I really like this. So I didn't end up joining that station that, we call Fire and Iron calls our chapter stations because we're firefighters.
Right.
And so I ended up joining that station, but there was no that was a little bit closer to me. And I started hanging out with them and then I just was like, yeah, that's what I want to do. So I started doing my hang around time a little longer, and then I did my probate time, and then became fully patched, and I love it.
Where'd they originate from? Do you know where they first started?
The original station. Actually, chapter 1 is actually out of Florida.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they started in Florida, and now we're
global
all over. Yeah, so got Brotherhood everywhere, and it's been great. And it's cool. Even with us being with Fire and Iron, we still ride with other firefighter motorcycle clubs, and that Brotherhood we just try to extend it out and and just do it. And as for Fire and Iron ourselves, we're firefighters. We're already Brotherhood, and with the fire service, we do public service, and one of the most giving people in this world that I ever seen is
motorcycle community.
Right. So
absolutely.
So we're already doing that. So now we do lots of fundraisers, and we fundraise for everything from just a little kid that needs something. Oh, this kid's going through cancer or whatever. We help them out. To big organizations. I've raised money for JDRF, which is the Junior Diabetes Foundation. We do things for Wounded Warriors. We do, we just raised money ourselves. We actually created a grant for our local area for the fire departments to put into, and we actually helped one of our local departments pay for training that they needed to stay compliant. So,
well, you put on that one ride. No, I came up the Break Your Butt In ride, which was was for the concrete fire department.
Yeah, so that this last year, the Breaking Your Butt ride was dedicated to concrete volunteer fire. So
up there, whether I'm sure there's more than just you. There's more guys behind the scenes, but with your 9/11 rides you do every year. You put on at least 2 rides a year. And I remember because we became Facebook friends a couple years ago, and then finally I was able, my work schedule made it up for last year's 9/11 ride where we finally got to meet in person.
Yeah.
And that was an awesome ride. And it's, you had people come out from New York, the police department, the fire department, and you hear some of those stories and really, makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up. And to meet some of those guys face to face and, try to understand what they went through and to hear some of their stories. And it was an awesome experience. That was, a good time.
It's touching, man. And I mean, that we actually teamed up with Northwest 9/11 Memorial, and that's the organization that brings out the NYPD and FDNY members. And I didn't know what I was getting myself into when they called me and said, "Hey, this used to be a ride a long time ago, but it kind of went away. We want to bring it back. We couldn't, who better to do that than you guys?" And I'm like,
Right.
"All right, cool." So we jumped in, and I just immediately hooked because I had no idea what I was getting myself into. But the fact that I'm like, I had just joined the fire service. I hadn't been in the fire service very long. I mean, my dad was a firefighter, so I've been around it, but never been it myself.
Mm-hmm.
But for a short time, and then 9/11 happens. So I watched the fire service change in right in front of me within,
Right.
a short time. So it's like, 18, 19 years later, be involved with this organization, coming back and actually getting to talk to those that had the building crumble at their feet. It was just eye-opening and just made my fire career go full circle.
Right.
So
I can see that. So then, you kind of worked your way up through Fire and Iron too.
I did, yeah. So I went from a general member to when I was in Texas to here, and I was living in Skagit County, and the closest station to me was Cowlitz County. So I was driving 220 miles each direction for meetings and events and stuff like that. And obviously the goal was to start my own station. Mm-hmm. So I finally got my own station. So I took the position of president, and then just working with the guys that are here in this region. They were like, "No, we want you to take over as Region 4 officer."
So what is all the, is that multiple states or?
Yeah, I Region 4 is 11 states.
Oh, Jesus.
So everywhere from Alaska, Hawaii, and then the 9 states around here. So I get to do a lot of traveling for the club, which I love, man. I get to help other regions and other stations be successful and promote what they get to do, and just make sure that we're all, working together, and it's a blast. Like, I love it. I mean, it's a lot of responsibility, and honestly, I never saw myself even ever being a president, and then I didn't really have a choice, so I had to learn how to do it, and I'm still learning. Every day's learning. So
That's kind of life. Every day it's something new. It's like we, don't live in Groundhog's Day. Every day is a new day, new challenge, new life, and
yeah.
keep going forward.
Yeah, but I'm enjoying it, and I'm hoping that the opportunities that I'm being given, I'm hopefully passing them on to other people and members of the station, and hopefully that someday someone else will be able to be president and be able to continue that station being successful. So
How many are in Washington? I know you guys have one down south.
we have 3 total in
3?
Washington. Yeah,
So you got the one down Longview,
we have
Kelso.
two down there, and one, and then us up Skagit.
Okay. So what made you want to get involved with this stuff, Wes?
Kind of the same thing. I spent a lot of time riding by myself, and I see everybody else out riding together, and it's like, I kind of wanted to ride with people. And then the department I was on in Illinois, a couple of the guys there, the chief at the time was a member, and then the assistant chief was a member. And so I started hanging out with them and kind of riding around with them, and then met a bunch of the other brothers. And honestly, you can't say it any better than it's a network of family is what it is. And to ride with people that you consider your brothers is, I don't know, there's no other feeling. Because everybody's there just to have fun and do what we enjoy doing, and that's being out on two wheels and hanging out with each other, go out drinking, do whatever, and no matter what happens, I mean, it's always just, it's a surreal feeling because everybody's there for each other. No matter, I mean, we went on a ride out in Illinois for a minute, and one of our guys had a blown tire. We made a phone call, and other riders came by that we were at a party with, and they all stopped, tried to put air in the tire for us, and it's like, no, it's not going to work. Trailer showed up, got him out of there, and it's just it's a family network that is stronger than blood at some points.
And that, I think it also, I mean, I agree with what you're saying. And then you look at a whole, I mean, I had an experience once where you want to talk, motorcycle community. I had to go over to, a while back when I was off work dealing with a bunch of Illinois shit, I had to get a lawyer. Mm-hmm. And I had to go to Tacoma to meet up with my lawyer. So I went across, rode from here, took the bike over. I got across the Narrows and I pulled over, plugging the address and GPS so I know where I'm going because, I didn't know where their office was. And I'm sitting there putting the address in my phone, and I look in the mirror, and I can see two bikes coming up behind me. All of a sudden, they kind of split and pulled up on each side of me. I'm like, well, what's going on here? Because, it's an uneasy feeling, like, what the fuck? And then I, dude lifts up his visor, he's like, hey, all good? I'm like, oh, yeah, I just got, trying to figure out where my lawyer's office is. I said, I got to go there. He's like, sounds expensive. Actually, I'm going there to pick up a check. He's like, cool, man, just wanted to make sure. And they took off. That's why I'm saying they were, Combat Veterans Motorcycle Club. Mm-hmm. I mean, I was raised, around the motorcycle club. I mean, it is a brotherhood. I mean, you get that mutual respect, and it is a great community. And it just, when you have one of those moments where it's, one of those surreal moments, you're like, you're doing something, you look back and, what do we got going on? Because you never know. But no, the dudes were, it was totally cool and very unexpected. But it's all, as since, going almost on 2 years of doing the V-Twin life, and met some amazing people, and have got to see the community and, the support, and it is an awesome network and an awesome family. I mean, you do get club life. It's great. You have that family, but then, you get to that broader, aspect of within the whole, culture of two wheels. And it is also in a way like a family. There's so many great people.
There is. There's a lot of great people.
It's like I've always said the thing, how many times have you gone to a gas station to get gas, and somebody sees your bike or sees something, and that 30-second gas stop turns into 10 minutes.
45.
Yeah. And now you got a new best friend.
Or your wife going, can we go? We've been here 45 minutes. I'm like, okay, I got to go. Yeah. Sorry, man. It's nice to meet you.
But it is. And, that's all just part of, that involvement or what two wheels brings you in life.
Yeah.
A lot of it's networking. The fire service is the same way. You build a relationship and a bond with your brothers and your family, and they are tighter than blood sometimes. Mm-hmm. And with the motorcycle club, it's the same way. And there's a lot of good dudes everywhere that I've met people. I rode with people in a few different states in the Midwest, and then out here, and it's just you can't. It's kind of hard to explain, but we all have the same goal, and that's just to live free and have fun, and riding is where we have fun. Yeah. I know some of us sometimes, myself, one of them, that works way too much, and it's hard to get out on a bike sometimes, but
it's life. I mean, all of it is. I know. Times talking to Mikey, I mean, the hours he puts in there. Times call me and say, what are you doing? Well, fucking cruising down the interstate because that's what I fucking do. Monday through Friday. I know when I go to work, and God only knows when I'm gonna get off because that's out of my control. But you gotta make the money to have fun too.
Yeah. Yep, gotta have the means.
Yeah. So what's next you got going on? What's any big plans and shenanigans?
I mean, actually, we had a brother that rode out from Massachusetts.
Oh yeah, when I waved at you guys this morning and you totally snubbed me.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm pointing at you and like nothing.
I waved.
Fuck you.
I waved.
Oh, I thought I saw that finger.
Just hey there, you don't point at what's that guy?
I waved.
Yeah, you say you waved. I didn't see shit.
Or was that when you were flipping me off?
No. No, that was way after that. No, yeah. So he was been out here for the last couple of days. You know, we took him to up to Mount Baker. He got to see the ski resort. We took him up to Baker Lake. Had him do the Highway 20, 530. You know, Darrington Loop up Highway 9.
That Darrington Loop to Skagit Valley down there. That's a beautiful ride. Up and down through Oso and Darrington.
Yep. Oh yeah. That's what we did for our ride this last year. That was part of our ride for the Breaking Your Butt. So yeah, I had him out on all these roads, and then he was like, originally he was like, oh yeah, I'm going to leave this day on Thursday or whatever, and I'm like, hey man, like I can get you some more roads around here. Oh yeah, and I'm like, yeah, and then we're going down, you know, we're heading to the peninsula Saturday to come hang out with Denver. I'm like, why don't you just hang out or ride? So we ended up taking him to Nia Bay. He gets to see that, and then now we shipped him down to Station 71, and we'll meet with him tomorrow. We're going to ride 101 down to them tomorrow.
That's where we'll be tomorrow.
Yep. And so
Man, you should have took him up 410, go up Chinook around the backside of
well, I got to give him something to come back to.
Yeah.
I can't show him everything. I just got to have enough to tease him, make him come back.
Give him a little taste.
Right.
He already wants to come back.
He does. He's ready. He's like, oh, there's more road. I'm like, dude.
Did you take him up 20? So he leave that for a teaser?
He came. So he left Boise and rode up, and we had him go all the way up and then cut across and take 20. So he took North Cascades to get to my house.
He got the hidden gem.
Yeah, because I live at the bottom of North Cascades. So he just goes down and ends up at my house.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean he's hit mountains, roads. He's seen the hanging, you know, moss off the trees, and
I should have given the epic loop. You leave Boise, head up to McCall, over Lolo into Montana, then hit 90 back, then divert by Quincy.
We'll get him on that. We'll get him. I can't. Like I said, can't have him take everything. He's got to.
You got to throw him a bone.
Baby steps, you know.
We're gonna give you a little bit, and you don't want to come back. So
yeah,
that's more epic. Shit.
Right, because we have a lot of great riding out here. So
oh god, you get to even Western Montana. There's so much cool shit over there.
Dude, there's so much.
I mean, we do live in
you don't
awesome
have to tell
place.
you hold my hand. Thanks.
No, sorry, I'm just trying to hold my hand,
okay.
and all of a sudden you're like touching me. I'm like, whoa,
your
buddy.
hand was in
first.
his lap.
First I don't wave at. First I don't wave at him.
Your hand was there.
Brisky. Thanks, bro.
Yeah. First I don't wave at him. Now he's trying to hold my hand. I'm like, dude, come on. Which is cool. You can hold my hand. I don't mind. I know what I like. It's not you. Not like
That's
that.
a good thing because you guys are bunked together tonight, buddy.
I already told you if you hear anything, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Just fighting over the bed, huh?
Fighting over the bed.
Just this little pillow talk.
Who gets the bigger bed? Yeah. So we got that, and then I'm leaving for Virginia for a week, which I'm having to fly there because I don't have time to ride, unfortunately. But we'll rent a bike and we'll be there for a week and then we'll fly home. So get to see all that good stuff. Our September, the 9/11 ride, the Refuse to Forget ride.
I'll be there.
That's coming up. It'll be a little bit different this year because we lost the chairman of the Northwest 9/11 ride. We lost him to cancer this year. So yeah. So I don't know how things are going to go with that, but we're still doing the ride.
Right.
Whether how the memorial at the Peace Arch Park ends up, I'm not really sure yet.
But what's cool, even I've been on your 9/11 ride, the breaking your butt ride for this year, the support you get from the community and then from all these other clubs, everybody comes together and it's an awesome event. I mean, you do a killer job of putting the stuff together, and I thoroughly enjoy coming. I remember it was 9/11. Man, I can't believe you came this far. Fuck, dude, it's like 2 hours. That ain't far. It's like, fuck, man, you're just right up the road.
A lot of people don't. They're like, I can't ride that far.
Yeah, you'd be surprised at how many people that don't live that far.
Yeah, you're like, you want me to ride 2 hours to ride for another 6 hours, then to ride 2 hours to go home?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, it's
or stay the night.
It's all wind therapy, man.
Went down to it was 2 years ago. Son was playing a baseball tournament down in Boise. I'm like, yeah, cool. And Amy's like, well, why don't you take the bike? So, well, it's a good idea. She's like, you've always wanted to do that, your iron butt thing. She goes, why don't you just go do it? Oh, fuck, that's a great idea. I'm going to take a fucking detour. So, go to my brother's house into 1,018 miles in 18 hours and 4 minutes. Nice. Via Montana. Up down to Missoula over Lolo, down through the whole panhandle and down to Kuna, which is just southwest of Boise. And fuck, it was awesome.
Yeah, I know Kuna. I know Kuna real well.
Yeah, that's where my brother's down there. He lives
My best friend lives there.
right down by. He's
Just
about,
outside.
you know where the Albertsons is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's 2 minutes from the Albertsons.
Oh, okay.
Get down where past Albertsons, the road takes a 90, and you turn left right there, and there's a little city park by the creek or aqueduct, where the fuck you want to call it, across railroad tracks, and he's right down there in development.
Nice. Yeah, now my best friend and his wife live in Marsing, which is just a hop, skip, and a jump around the mountain to get there between each other. So,
and that was a fun thing when we did our trip to South Dakota last week. I talked to his wife. It was weeks ago. So, you guys going to be home at the end of the month? She's like, well, yeah, why? So, well, we're going to be in Sturgis. We're leaving Monday, so we're going to take a detour. So we're planning. We want to go through the Tetons. I said, I've never seen them. I want to see it. I'm in the area. I said, we're going to stay in Twin Falls, I think it was Twin Falls, Idaho. I said, and then we're going to shoot down Tuesday. We'll be at your house Tuesday, noon, 1 o'clock-ish. So to figure we'll surprise Nick, she's like, she goes, oh, that'll be fucking sweet. And we'd left Sturgis. He sends me a message on that Monday, hey, where are you guys at? And I think we'd all stop for gas. I'm like, fucking pull up the map, make up some little podunk town in Montana. Yeah, we're here getting fuel. And we turned all of our locations off, so if you checked any of the social media shit, you couldn't follow it where any of us were. Like, man, we want no idea for him to know we were coming. And fuck, we pulled off the surprise, and we got down there. He's like, you motherfucker. He's like, I was hoping you guys would come by, and you text me you were up in Montana yesterday. I said, I was full of shit.
Yeah.
I said, we were coming through Wyoming about that time. But no, it was fun, and just, see friends, and it's, to me, there's no better way to travel. It's fucking just awesome. And, doing that trip with my son was so cool. I mean, the guy, Hayden had been on the roof like a month. So, hey, let's go for a ride. Where are we going? Sturgis, South Dakota. It's like he didn't fucking blink an eye, and 3,200 miles in 8 days, and got back. He's like, that was the most awesomest thing I've ever done. And he's hooked.
Nice.
Yeah, it's not the same if you're on four wheels. Mm-mm. You got AC, windows up, wherever.
Yep. It's a total different experience.
Yeah, it's night and day difference.
You could drive the same road in a car and do it on a motorcycle, and you're going to see different things.
Oh, yeah. Because you get everything. You get sights, smells, bugs, whatever. Yeah, whatever happens. Rain, weather, it doesn't matter.
Yep.
Inside a cage, you're in a cage. You don't get nothing.
You're living it when you're on the bike.
Yeah.
So I saw that you got to do the multi-generation ride. Your dad, you, and Hayden.
Yeah. Yeah, we did that.
That's cool.
It was a couple of days after God had. I talked to my dad, hey, you going to be home? Because we were doing a barbecue. He goes, oh, yeah, I'm going to come over. I said, well, wait there a minute. I'll see you in a minute. And we all rode up there, met my dad, then we all rode back together, it was cool. It was pretty neat. And it's like, I remember, I think Hayden had only had the bike a couple days, and we rode out by Lake Crescent. We're coming back, call my buddy Jason Setzer's, Setzer Pendants on social media. I'm like, dude, I said, I totally understand your love, riding with your son, or, how my dad feels. I said, dude, this riding with Hayden, and, I was talking to him while we were riding down the road with the, the commie in my helmet, my phone. It's like, it's hard to put it into words, the feelings, and, you got your son riding with you. It's like, the younger son, Seth, he hopes, get a bike next year or something, and he's going to start riding with us too, and it'll be awesome. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's cool. I saw you got to do that. I was like, that's cool. Like 3 generations, like riding together. Like, man, that's something I'll never see. So I was like, that's cool. So
yeah, it was awesome.
I lived vicariously through you, and that was cool, man.
It was cool. We came down when Amy ran outside and got the video. All 3 of us coming in the driveway. It was super cool, and it'll be fun when the 3 of us, even of course when Seth rides too, but even doing a an overnight trip, or even a 2-day or take off on a weekend. I know, like this year my vacation's all spent, so I got weekends to give up, but take off on a Friday evening, ride somewhere, and come back Sunday, and it'd be super cool. I know my dad he lives for riding and really enjoys it, and he's always been my best friend, and one of the, my go-to riding partner basically. And now I got Hayden, he loves it and wants to ride all the time, and it's a great excuse for me.
Yeah, take off on a Friday, have a long weekend, and call in sick on Monday. I got food poisoning.
Yeah. My boss might watch this.
We
Don't give him all
We're not
all
going
the
to say that.
secrets.
We'd never do that. What are you talking about?
My hemorrhoids are killing me.
There's someone on your shoulder talking. I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's super cool.
I remember the first time before I got my license on the bike, the first time that I rode with my dad, and we were going to ride, it was mom and dad on their bike, and then me on my bike and my little sister riding on the back of me. And my dad was like, I'm going to make sure that you're comfortable riding with your sister on the back. So he got on the back of my bike. And we're on the back of this, two of us on this 650, Kawasaki 650. And we're riding and we're going, he's like, okay, go ride this corner, ride this, take this intersection, this. Okay, get on the freeway. I got to see what you're going to do because we're going to take this. All right, so riding on the freeway. And so I got that memory. And then, of course, it's 20 years later, we're going to Oak Harbor because my dad bought his Ultra off my uncle because my uncle wasn't riding it. And he's like, I'll sell it to you. Okay. So he calls me and says, hey, let's go pick up this bike. And I'm like, okay, well, how you want to go get it? Are we trailering this? And he's like, no, we're not trailering it. Like, okay. So I rode to my parents' house in Ferndale. My dad gets on the back of my bike.
From Ferndale to Oak Harbor?
We rode 60 miles with him on the back of my bike. Yep.
Did you take the chuckanut so you're at least off the freeway and view people?
Oh, no, I made him run the freeway.
Shit.
We have a picture of it. It's in the driveway, and it's hilarious. I don't know. Like, that's the closest I got to relate it to, anything good with my dad. So.
Oh, God, that'd be fucking hysterical.
It's hilarious.
Hey, you still got to ride with your dad.
I've ridden with my dad in more ways than one. Next to him and in front of him.
Oh, shit, that's fucking hysterical.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. My dad and I done crazy shit. We used to ride down the freeway, and we'd hold each other's handlebars. So my dad's left-handed, so he'd grab my throttle hand. So he'd be working the throttle on both bikes. And we're going down the freeway at like 60 miles an hour doing stunt shit. And I'm like, this is cool.
Don't hit a pothole.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, hey, don't screw up my handlebars, man. So, yeah. Yeah, just good stories. Lots of good times.
And that's what it's about.
Yeah.
I remember we left on our trip, and Hayden's like, hey, he goes, I think there needs to be one rule in this trip. I'm like, all right, what do you got in mind? He's like, I don't have cruise control, so you can't use your cruise control. Fuck you.
Yeah. That just helps
I
you.
made fun of my dad forever.
Should have bought one with cruise control.
See, the guy leading, having cruise control, just makes everyone else's life easier. I tell myself that, whether it does or not. Like, I'm not doing this yo-yo, so they're not. It keeps them from doing the yo-yo. So I mean, we're just helping each other out.
Well, funny thing, you're talking about that. Me and my dad and Hayden riding. We went for a ride. Went out west somewhere, or east. We stopped somewhere. Hayden's like, Jesus Christ, Dad. He's like, I ain't trying to get a ticket because like my dad will get in a car and it's like in his car, speed limit, maybe slightly under. He gets in his hot rod or gets on his motorcycle and it is 15 to 20 over religiously. Fuck, we're flying down the highway. It's a 55. We're doing 70, 80. I'm like, Jesus Christ. And hey, Dad, I got Hayden back there. He's still new. Fuck. And he's like, I was keeping up, but goddamn, Grandpa. I'm like, yeah, that's how he's on the bike. He's like a fucking teenager.
That's what they're for. Hot rods are for going fast, and bikes are for feeling the wind.
Yep, fast.
Fast.
Yeah, it was fucking comical.
Unless it's snowing.
Yeah.
They were not riding fast.
I had a friend, Matt Swethlin. He actually works for Harley Davidson now. He took a trip. They went up Mount Evans, which is right next to Pikes Peak. Well, they got up there and it started snowing like a mofo. He was telling the story. Because to get down, they had to follow the car tracks, which were breaking the snow, so it was bare concrete. Because they got stuck up there for a while until a car left. So they could follow the tracks on the road on the motorcycles, so there's too much freaking snow. It just, there's no way. He was like, it was quite the fucking experience coming down. You're, Pikes Peak, 16,000 feet or some shit. And Mount Evans right next to the same height. It's just like the bastard stepsister of Pikes Peak that don't get the attention. But from everybody I've heard, is they actually say it's more enjoyable, more sights to go up Mount Evans than it is up Pikes Peak.
I remember that. Put that on the list.
Yeah. Hey, you going somewhere, man? Hit me up. I've met people from all over.
Yeah.
I can hook you up with all kinds of people anywhere.
Yeah. Me too.
Which is kind of the fun shit about doing
that's
this.
The plan. That's the joy of being on a bike is you meet people everywhere.
Oh yeah.
You do. I can remember doing a camping trip. Me and a buddy, we went out to Claylock, which is out. You guys will go by it tomorrow. Out on the coast, past Forks, like 45 minutes past Forks. We're camping out there, and they have this big Dutch oven doing lasagna. Hey, you guys hungry? Well, we stopped at Subway, and ended up, oh no, you got to try this, and shit, end up eating lasagna, and it's just one of those things. I mean, you pull up on a motorcycle, all of a sudden everybody wants to be your friend or whatnot, and it's like we said, same thing with the gas station. It's crazy with the community, whether people ride or not, just how it is.
Yeah. And the conversation starts the same every time. Hey, nice bike.
Yeah. Or I have one, or my so and so rode one, or something.
I've always wanted to get one, or I used to have one. I want to get another one. Yeah.
Do it. You only live once, man.
Well, I'm too old. No, you're never too old.
Never too old.
I don't have good balance. Buy a trike.
Yeah, buy a trike.
Go get yourself a tri-glide.
It's not quite as the same, but you're at least you're not in a cage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I stopped one day at up at North Sound Harley, actually, because me and Hayden were going up there to help my daughter move to her new apartment. It's like, hey, I haven't been to this dealership. Let's pull in here real quick. And I met this dude. He was probably in his 70s. And had the beautiful skunk white CVO. Like, damn, nice bike. Yeah, it's okay. I'm like, what? It's a goddamn CVO Road Glide. It's pretty nice. He goes, I don't know about that. I'm like, all right. Tell me a story. Well, I had this Street Glide. He goes, I fucking loved it. He goes, I pumped it up. I think he said he had a 128 in it. He goes, but I'd hit it like 120. He goes, the handlebars start shaking. I'm like, about fucking 70, 75. And okay. He says, I bought a stabilizer, changed the suspension, did all this shit. And he's like, I'm like, well, fuck, they make a Road Glide. He goes, so I figured I'd get one. He goes, so I came and bought this CVO. So they're pretty sweet. He's like, it's like riding a fucking slug. I'm like, what? He goes, it barely gets out of its own way. I looked at him. I was like, I would love to come ride with you sometime. You got a fucking CVO and it's a fucking slug. You're my kind of dude, man. Yeah. It was just one of those conversations I will never forget. You see a guy that, basically be your grandpa, drinking coffee, Harley dealership, bitching that his CVO is too slow.
Yeah.
Fuck. First world problems.
I know, right? First world problems.
No shit.
I've said that once or twice.
Yeah. So, well, fuck, man. It's been fun.
Yeah. I'm glad we got to do this in person.
Finally.
Yeah.
After a year and a half of planning and trying to make schedules.
Make it happen. Make the schedule happen. And then,
fuck yeah.
Your next step is to get that sensor pendants up here and actually do it in person and not,
Oh, he wants to come back up, but he had a bad trip going back.
Oh, did he?
He made it as far as, was it Cheyenne, Colorado?
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a long ways from Texas.
Yeah, his bike's still there. He's not.
Oh.
Yeah, you'll find out about that tomorrow on when Milepost 68 will be live.
Okay.
We'll dive into that. Yeah, that's a whole nother fucking story.
Sorry, Jason.
Yeah. Poor Cuda. That bike's left him stranded in Arizona, I think Nevada, now fucking Colorado.
Yeah, maybe
that's a sign.
Maybe that bike doesn't like being in Texas. It's hot down there.
Yeah, that's stage 4 131. It's temperamental.
I'm sure it doesn't like being in the heat.
Yeah. So, well, fuck, man. Thanks for coming on, buddy.
Yeah. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Hell yeah. Now,
Nice to see you in person.
Now we need to make sure that we get out here more often because it's a nice ride over here.
Yeah, we got plenty.
Hey.
Lots of roads we haven't hit, so.
Yeah.
Well, next time we need to try Corley where I know I had to go one way to pick up parts for
Next time we won't just drive by and give you the finger.
Right. Well, no, I gave him the finger because he totally snubbed me. But he's saying he didn't. But
wait, I saw you. There's not a lot of black road glides around here. So.
This is true. Hey, BBM, yeah. Black bikes matter.
Black bikes matter.
That's right.
White bikes matter too.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So do blue bikes.
I won't even comment. But,
Yeah. I know where you're at.
Oh, fuck. Hey, guys, thanks for tuning in. This has been a good time. Milepost. Actually, why don't you let people know why you wanted Milepost 69? Because you requested.
I did request
69.
Milepost 69. So 69 that in the camera. There we go, right there. So 69 is the 6th and the 9th letter of the alphabet, fire and iron, F and I. So
F and I, baby.
F and I. So that's why I wanted 69. So
We made
thank
it
you
happen.
for giving that. I appreciate that.
Hell yeah.
So
I mean, we want to do a podcast, but why not even make it one more reason to make it happen, one more reason to make it a little bit more personal, and just
yeah,
have a good time.
that's right.
And now we're going to go sit around the fire, drink beers, and have an even more gooder time.
More
I'm making
good-
up new words. More gooder.
More gooder.
That's right.
More
Oh,
gooder. Yeah.
Yeah, we go
learned
drink
our-
some more cream soda
We
and,
learned our English well.
and your
Cream soda,
peanut butter
good.
wine.
Peanut
Yeah,
butter
that
wine. Yeah, try some peanut butter wine.
Yeah.
It's like $3.
Yeah, it's $3.
Dude, seriously, what the hell was that shit called?
I don't know. I don't
Nutter?
remember.
I don't
Crave Your
know.
love or some shit. I
I don't know.
Something, but I've never had a liquid fucking Nutter Butter, and that's what that shit tastes like.
Yeah.
That's some shit.
Yeah.
It was
It was. I was.
definitely
That was a little surprising. I was like,
That's no shit. Even, Amy tried, she's like, oh my God. It's like a liquid eating a Nutter Butter, but you're drinking them. Yeah, no shit. Crazy, huh? And $3.
And it was $3
And 70%.
and 17%. Yeah.
Can't go wrong. Slam 2 of those, get to that plateau, and then just maintain with some good old fucking rain dogs.
All right. Gotta have the Ronier on you.
That's right.
Gotta make it keep it
Ron
fresh.
So,
I'll
hi guys.
I'll just get dusted with some space dust.
There you go.
Hey, you can't go wrong with some Elysian. That's some goddamn good Northwest beer. Hey, thanks all for tuning in. It's been Milepost 69. Been a good time. Mikey West from Fire and Iron, Station 152.
152, Skagit County.
Boom! Hey guys, ride safe, have fun. We'll catch you on the open road.
Live free.